of the fact that our kids are being poisoned. Don't take drugs, okay? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. I said to my kids, no drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes. Raise your hands, kids. I promise Donald J. Trump that I will never take drugs. I don't want to say no alcohol, but take it easy on the alcohol, right? And you know what else? No cigarettes, right? All right, kids, come here. Come here. But you know what happens? Once you get hooked on the alcohol or the drugs, it makes your life very hard. And the one thing I can tell you, if you don't ever take it, you'll never get hooked.
Early upbringing, I'd always say to them, no drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes. And now I add for Barron, and I'd drive them crazy. I'd say every time they'd leave, no drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes. Repeat after me, and I'd have to repeat. They'd go, Ivanka would go, Dad, will you leave me alone? But I'd drum it into their heads. And you know, you have to get through those artificial barriers. I call them artificial barriers because you can do something about it until it's too late. Once it's in your system, it's very hard to stop. I had a brother, Fred, who was sadly an alcoholic, a serious alcoholic. And he was the best looking guy you've ever seen.
Now, he was much older than you.
He was much older. He was 10 years older than me, 11 years older than me. And he was as good looking a guy as you've ever seen. He had everything going. The best personality. I have like a bad personality compared to Fred. But he started drinking, and he also smoked a lot. But he started drinking, and I think it started in college, frankly, but it got progressively worse. And he was really unable to stop. And he'd always tell me, don't you ever drink. So he was much older than me, and it really has an impact, you know, when you have that kind of an age difference. But he'd point, don't you ever drink and don't you ever smoke. He'd add the smoking in because he smoked and he drank. And it hugely affected his health and hugely affected even his look and his, you know, the whole bearing. And every time he'd see me, he'd say, don't you ever drink and don't you... So I never drank. I mean, I really, when you talk about my father, I learned a lot from my father, but I learned a lot from my brother, Fred.